All right, everybody, it's time for an update that many of you have been waiting for about the new Murfreesboro Skate Park coming to town that they're building at the Old Fort Park, right off Old Fort Parkway. We're here at Moab, off Memorial, where the engineers are going to debut the 3 designs that they came up with. They're going to have people vote on them and what they do, what they like and dislike about them, and then they're going to come up with final rendering and start construction. So let's go take a look at them.
Yeah, I was there. This is like the best.
We were talking about this with all the basement people. They would skate more and come around here if there was.
Yeah, and you too. Oh my God, did you show up? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, that was a cool option.
All right, this is Nate Williams. He's the director of the Parks and Rec here in Murfreesboro. Now, Nate, this is the second meeting tonight, right?
So this is the second public input meeting we've had of our skate park.
Okay.
So this is one where we come from the first meeting where we took a lot of input. We had a lot of great input from people and really honed in on kind of what the vision looks like. And so our designer, New Line, is sharing that, and I think we're getting even more input, and it's going really according to plan.
All right, so what's the next step? What's after this?
So what they do, this is kind of like a design charrette. So they've got a few options that aren't designs that we picked from necessarily, but kind of how we like them laid out. What they do is they take the input that we get from tonight, and then they take that back and really come up with a couple of options that we think are workable, like what type of features, and we want to pump track, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I know the original thing was skate park, but now it looks like skate park with a pump track. Is that really happening?
We're trying to see how the cost, we have a budget, so we'd like to include that. I think we cast kind of a broader net of usage if we're going to use a pump track.
For sure.
We think a pump track is not just BMX bikes, it's kids on their strider bikes or scooters and stuff like that. So I've got young kids, and that's something they love, and I think a lot of people would like to have something like that in the park system.
Definitely. Now, is there an expected start date on construction or anything?
We're holding off until we get the design back, and then we'll kind of really reestablish what the project timeline is, and then we'll be getting it out.
Is there a goal in mind, or just
not yet? We've got to finish the design process. I think we're a couple months away from really getting that, and then we've got to go through approval processes, and then we have to come up with what we want, bid that out, and then give some bidding time, and after that take it to council and see if we can go through. We're really fortunate though, so we do have funds allocated specifically for this project.
There you go.
A lot of other communities are kind of scrounging for park amenities, and Murfreesboro doesn't have that problem. We're able to take what we have trust in the council that we're listening and trying to establish park amenities that we think the community would like.
Very cool. Okay. Well, if so, this is. A lot of our viewers always ask, so is it canceled? Is something because of the timeline? It's just some people, they heard the announcement originally. Now, is it really happening? This is really happening.
Yeah, this is happening.
Okay.
We've got a contract with a designer, and they're going to take us all the way through the bidding process, and there are funds allocated for this project. So this is something we're really excited about. It's been really a glaring void in our park system for a long time, and we're excited to be able to offer this to the community.
You heard that right here. Nate Williams, Director of Parks and Rec. It's happening. All right. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
There won't be lights ago. This is obviously one right now.
Versus just a few rollers, because you're going to roll around that and be like, all right.
Dude, I skated this thing for like an hour and a half one day.
All right, everybody, this is James, and he is BMX royalty over here. You just, tell him, what all did you win?
Well, I won a Nitro Circus Hot Wheels event for BMX.
BMX? And you've been riding for how long?
About 7 years.
See, you're basically pro. Look at that. But so what's it mean having this skate park and pump track right here in Murfreesboro to you?
It's really cool because now we have something that we can just do after school instead of going all the way to Nashville to ride something.
Yeah, Nashville, that's quite, how long of a drive is that to Nashville for you?
Like an hour.
An hour? Yeah. No, we got it right here in Murfreesboro now, and we're really excited. So, but man, I can't wait to see your next race. I didn't know you did all that. That's really cool. Well, thank you for helping us with this video. We really appreciate it. Thanks, James.
Hey guys, my name's Emmett, and I race BMX, and I've been racing BMX for 3 years. And the most exciting thing about the pump track that they're gonna make is that I can make new friends. I could ride with my friends, and also it can help me get faster while racing my bike.
I don't even need to be here. He just stole the show.
Having a legit pump track at least will help.
And just help more people get into the sports.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to bring people into the BMX world. Right. I mean, not necessarily freestyle, but just necessarily
That's fair.
track.
I'm going to go check it.
All right, everybody, this is Ryan. Ryan, this is everybody.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for helping us out. We appreciate this. And now, Ryan, how old are you?
11.
11. How long have you been riding?
About 7 years.
7 years? So you're almost pro, right? Just about? No. Okay. That's cool, though. But so, how does it feel to have a pump track being built in
It would
Murfreesboro?
feel really cool because I could invite my friends
Yeah.
and go there all the time.
Yeah? You real excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to go to Nashville right now, right? To the
Yeah.
other one, Music City BMX? Right? Okay. How far away is that?
About 45 minutes from
45
my house.
minutes? So you're going to have one right down the road. How cool is that? That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. We appreciate the help. Thanks for talking with us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, now we have Chris and Ryan. These are the two guys that designed the concepts, right? From New Line Skate Parks. Is that the company? All right, cool. Now, I'm just curious. We had the 3 designs, right? And this is the second go around. So you took input from the city. How did that work to get you to those designs?
We took input from the users, mainly.
Okay.
It's where we took all our input from.
Nice. Okay, so what's the next step from here after these 3?
The next step is for us to take what we get from this meeting as well as the online survey. We'll compile all that. We'll take all that information, and that will inform us on our final design of the skate.
Okay, so you're going to do like a combination of the 3, or have people vote, or how does that work?
It could turn out to be a combination of 1 or 2. It could be solely just one design. But
Okay.
we'll work through all that after we compile all that information.
Okay, so it looks like skate park with a pump track. Is that right? What kind of the consensus I'm getting?
Yeah, that's really the goal of the project.
Okay.
And that is supported by a lot of the input that we've gotten so far.
Okay.
And we've gotten input at a meeting that we did prior to today, tonight's meeting, and then also we've had one online survey already, and we have another one starting after this meeting. The last survey got 183 responses, so
Okay.
there's
Nice.
a lot of input coming from different resources.
Were there certain things that people were like, you got to have this, you got to have that? What were some of the must-have type features?
Yeah, a lot of the input was about street plaza terrain.
Okay.
So something that you would find in the downtown plaza, like Legislative Plaza.
Okay.
And then also there was a lot of input for a pump track that someone, all wheels could use, concrete, and then something that bikers can really enjoy separate from the skate park.
Now I know the skate park was the initial thing, but this is for BMX as well, right?
All wheels.
All wheels.
All wheels.
So even rollerblades, someone like
Rollerblades,
myself?
roller skates, yeah, scooters.
Yeah, not me, by the way.
Scooters,
I fall off
wheelchairs.
it. Hey, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good
100%. Yeah,
feature.
this is designed to be, used by any type of wheels, whether
Nice.
it's an accessible mode of transportation or just something, more traditional like a skateboard.
Okay, but how long, once the construction starts, but how long do these processes take?
It really all depends on the city process and then the site process too. So it could be anywhere from a year to 2 or 3.
Okay.
I don't anticipate it being that long, and I guess I should defer to the client about the timeline.
Gotcha,
of
okay.
construction.
So is there going to be a third meeting?
There's not going to be a third meeting.
Okay, so it's take these 3, conceptualize, design, boom, off and running.
Yeah, and we'll develop a final concept that we can post online, and there may be a little bit of input on it, just based on some minor features. So it was OG 6 that. Yeah, for the most part, what we're collecting tonight is going to be based on the 3 concepts.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. When they're done with the design, we'll post about it. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time and appreciate all the help with the skate park. This is wonderful. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
So just to talk a little bit about skate parks in general and why it's important to us and why it's important to Murfreesboro. It's a huge part of a lot of people's lives. So there's tons of benefits of skateboarding, and we want to make sure that all of those benefits can reach people in this community accessibly. And we want this to be a place where no matter who you are or where you come from, you can call this place home. And if you're interested in skateboarding or biking, that you can use the facility, to its full extent and really enjoy it and feel like it's a place that you feel welcome and that you call home. Tonight, we're going to show you some concepts and say we think these are some of the things that you want. Let us know which of these 3 options best fits this community and what parts of all of these 3 we want to take and bake into one final concept and move forward with into construction documents. That schedule as far as construction goes is still to be determined based on the process that we go through and just the construction climate. So we will keep you all updated when we have more information on that, but that's generally where the project's headed. One of the first things that you'll hear a lot about tonight is flow. These arrows all indicate how you can use this space. So you can see these nice long arrows show how you can skate or ride through this park, hit multiple features in a row, still have space between them to set up and make sure you're comfortable, it's not too quick. And also you'll notice there's really not any crossing lines in here. When you drop in and you're going to do your line, you don't want to have someone coming high speed from across the park and you not be able to see them. So we want to make sure that there's plenty of lines through this park, and that was one of the things you gave feedback on, where multiple people can skate it at once. Unfortunately for this project, large transitional bowls are not really on the agenda. One, because of budget and space, and also site constraints. So we have to work within our means here and provide, as much favorable terrain as we can within the constraints that we have. However, we can have transitional type of terrain that doesn't quite look as big as this. And obviously there's always hybrids of these types of terrain, or different levels of them. In this, you see some of the flat space that might be good to push around in, or some of these elevation changes that might be a little bit more speed generating on their own without you having to push. And then you see the bowl on top. So there's kind of a nice mix of how these types of terrain can kind of coexist, but they still have their own individual spaces where you're not running into each other. So yeah, the things we'll want to hear back from about you all is like what size of features, how skilled, all of this terrain wants to be. So we could have some stuff that's like a 3-stair like this, that's a little bit more accommodating, for everyone, or we could have some larger stuff that's a little bit more challenging for everyone. Or we can have, multiple levels of similar terrain so you can really progress through, I'm learning a trick down a 3-set and then I'm taking it to a 5-set or a 6 or a 7. So we talked about a little bit of that in length last time about what heights of ledges or sizes of stair sets you all like to skate or ride. And we want to hear more about that too going forward. So feel free to be specific about, what exactly feels right to you and what might be fun for everyone. But you can see this is still very plaza type. That's one of the things that we heard from you all last time, is that street plaza and street course was one of the most favorable terrain styles that you all were interested in. And then there was also the pump track interest, which seemed to have another user group that was really excited about. So whether or not you're here for the skate park or the pump track, definitely welcome and want to hear from you. Speaking of the pump track, this is an example of a skate park that has a pump track connected to it, similar to what we're assuming might be the case for this project. This one's a little bit larger than the scope that we're looking at right now, but you can see that there's some shared space where the staging area for the skate park is also the staging area for the pump track. And you can kind of go back and forth between the two and spend time at kind of either, or just kind of stand in the middle and observe both. Here are some examples of pump tracks and what they kind of look like. We heard that a concrete pump track was the preference last time from quality and sustainability. That way we get a product that we're really confident that it's going to last a long time. And with concrete, we can trowel really organic shapes into it. So you get a really smooth ride and you get to really experience it. Whether you're on big wheels, small wheels, rollerblades, anything, it's really, the consistency that matters. And also I'll add that we do want to make sure that, if it's directional, we're marking it so that no one's going opposite directions. And we want to think about what the surface is like too, so that people aren't sliding around it. I know sometimes BMX wheels can get a little loose in corners, but what we do is specify a special texture that makes sure that there's still plenty of grip to this surface and it isn't going to be, too slippery. So the next thing that I'll talk about is where we've come on this project so far. So as a design team, we started by looking at the site where it's going to go and what opportunities and constraints we have there. So on this site, we have a parking lot that has plenty of availability. So there's all tons of parking there for anyone that wants to come really close to the terrain. We have a bunch of trees on the existing site, which we know can be an opportunity for shade, but it also can be a constraint because they could drop things on the skate park, and also it could limit the space that we have to put the skate park in. So we're considering those things. We want to think about how we're going to access this park off the existing sidewalk and make sure that it's safe access and you can get into the skate park in a place that's not going to be really high speed and you're not going to feel uncomfortable and feel like you're getting hit by boards. And then also just kind of the boundaries, the existing utilities and the soils on the site. So we're working as a grander team to really investigate what the site is like out there, how we can make sure that this lasts and doesn't sink, how it drains water effectively so that it doesn't puddle and flood when there's rain events. So the first time that we came to town and got some input from you all, we had everyone put stickers on boards to see what kind of terrain was most favorable. Some of the things that we saw were pump tracks that looked really interesting. So a lot of these pump tracks that have dots on them are open to the skate park. They have, jumps and the middle's closed in. And then as far as the skate park terrain goes, we saw a lot about manual pads and ledges and stair sets and flat bars. So a lot of that very street tech oriented terrain, and then some pump track oriented terrain too. We heard that the most input was for plaza and street terrain and pump track and carve. We didn't hear much input for bowls and half pipes. And like I said, the budget constraints that we have allow us to do about 10 to 12,000 square feet of skate park and pump track. So we're trying to do our best to balance these types of terrain given those constraints, and we want to make sure that all of this money goes in the most effective way. And given the site constraints, a bowl wouldn't be the most effective way to use the project budget. Especially because we heard that plaza and pump track terrain were the most popular.
Thank you all for watching.
And if they want more info, put it in the comments.
And if they want more info, put it in the comments.
High five, Emmett. You're a natural. Thanks, everybody. See you on the next one.
Bye.